Hi, I'm Josh with MediaLeaders.com, and today, Amy, which one are we running this on? Is it Blog PR Wire or Media Leaders? I think it's Blog PR Wire. I don't know. That's a good question. We don't have that here. Oh, you know what? I'll just leave it out. Okay. Hi, I'm Josh, and today we're talking about influencer marketing campaigns. There's a lot of buzz going on about, hey, how do I get somebody that has a lot of followers and get them to talk about my little brand so that we can get a lot of traffic and a lot of goodwill in the industry. Today, I have somebody really awesome that we're going to talk with about the good and bad side of influencer marketing. And it's a really big buzzword, but I think we're going to dive into a few examples. We're going to talk about what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, and hopefully pull out some tactics for you. As always, we're going to keep it light, bright, and polite. The title of my book, Teaching Students How to Be Online so that when they get searched, they look like a great person for the college or future employer that they're looking for. Today, I'm so honored to have my guest, which is Sean Herring. He's the CMO and co-founder at Torchlight Marketing in Indianapolis, which bridges the talent gap in digital marketing. Hey, Sean, welcome to the video.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Hey, so you bridge the gap between talent and you bridge the gap in here. Talk to us about what does that mean?
What we found is there's a ton of technology out there for marketing specialists. What we found is there's not that same match for the number of people that know how to use it. So You're seeing technology expand from a couple hundred solutions to a couple thousand. It's become so complex that you still need to put people back into the tech stack. You can't leave them out. And what we found is there's a huge gap there that we can help fill by connecting people that need it to work. I need digital marketing to work now, to those that know how to do it. And if you can do that effectively, there's a huge business case.
Yeah. So first, you've tried to make some people at your company influencers. Can you talk to us about that and how that's worked on a regional versus a national level?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. We actually had a couple hits and a couple misses, and the misses actually turned out to be good for us. So the hits were we got picked up. Oh, go ahead.
First, talk to us about who are the influencers in your company, and who would you tell other companies that are watching this, who should they make the influencer? And you've done that at your company.
Yeah, we really just started with a couple of the co-founders, so myself and the CEO. And what we tried to pick out for the influencer strategy is start at the top, try to make a couple people very, very visible, but try to make them visible for different reasons. Our CEO, Susan Marshall, she is a female, very strong in tech, has a great background with very big companies and big brands, and can bring a lot of expertise to marketing in general, let alone democratizing it. So we've tried to position her upstream to have a voice in the market about what companies should be doing regardless of the size. Mm-hmm. And for myself, we want to position myself more as click down into what do you do with digital marketing and how do you do it effectively. And so we're trying to cover both a depth and a breadth, but you want to position your leaders up on the top at the front so that people say, hey, I've seen Susan or I've seen Sean, tell me more about your company. So we really were selective. Not everybody should be an influencer.
Okay, so some companies are going to say the following thing. Let me play devil's advocate.
Sure.
We've all worked with companies that are doing okay, and they say, I want to take digital marketing to the next level. I want people to trust us more when we make a sales call, perhaps when they see us somewhere. This content marketing thing is out there, but I want to grow our sales using some digital, but I don't want to post on LinkedIn, and I don't want to send out all that stuff. What do you say to those leaders, the CEO? How do you show them how content marketing or influencer marketing may work within their company?
It's a great question. We've actually seen two approaches that work really, really well to combat that. The number one is, why are your sales calls so effective? It's because there's a person behind the sales call. So why not put a person behind your digital presence? It'll just be that much more effective for your sales team to scale. So put the person behind it. That's why your sales team is working. Marketing's not going to work if you don't have another person behind it. That's the influencer part people often forget about. It's not just ads. It's the people behind what you're trying to put out.
Yeah.
So that's the first approach, is I really tap into, you've got your business to this point because you had a person involved. Don't take that person out of it.
Yep.
The second part of that is I really focus on scale. How do you effectively hope to get a broader message out that you keep with your company, right? If you want to keep for Torchlight, I don't want to make someone else an influencer that might leave my company.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially instilling in their brand. You're building their brand up. So if you're the head of the company, build your brand that's symbiotic with your company. The problem with building anybody else's up is they can take that with them and leave, and they take their audience with them as well. So why not become visible? And I've often had people say, well, that's fine. I don't think they're going to leave me. Would you buy a $50, $100, or $200,000 product or solution from a company where now that everything's digital, you can see who works at what companies, and the CEO has a little blank shadow space on his LinkedIn profile? Is that really a legitimate company that you want to spend a couple $250,000 with?
Yeah,
So
it's a good point. If they can't invest in their own image, why would you want to buy something from them? You know, I'm always talking to some of my friends saying, hey, in fact, I hired a personal trainer to make me a better influencer, because I said, I want to be, when I'm on stage speaking to students about why they should shine online, I want to be looking my best and feeling my best, because you only want to invest in people that you believe in, right? And so I couldn't agree with you more. So next, so a lot of CEOs are probably telling you, Sean, hey, I don't want to post. Why would I ever be on LinkedIn? We hear that all the time. Maybe they're really good and they're running their business, but they don't understand the outreach. Give me some examples for companies. What are some ways that they could jump into? And I'm going to throw in the content marketing game in here.
Sure.
Well, how can they go in and throw in the content marketing game to essentially help other people for free? And I hear this all the time. Why would I ever want to help and give away all my secrets? Actually, I want to go longer on this podcast today and talk about that in a moment. But what can they do? What are your key tips for just about any business? A lawyer, a doctor, a chiropractor, or any other type of business? What can they give away to start to become an influencer?
I think it starts with really differentiating your secret sauce, what makes you special, versus what everybody else can probably figure out on their own. Right? If you were to give somebody a roadmap of how to get to a certain place, they could probably figure it out on their own if they just took a certain amount of time. So don't be afraid to expose the path on how to get there. Your secret sauce is being able to take them on that path. And what I found with a number of companies is they're so afraid to show what makes them different, because they're actually concerned what they're doing isn't different. It's actually more of an internal reflection on what they're doing. And so why not put it out there? The companies that are very confident in what they do and are willing to tell you, here's the 5 things that we did this week, or the 10 things we did this week, their confidence instills a confidence in their audience. So when you're going to look for that solution, where's the first place you're going to go look? The place where I first heard it. Because I'm going to get even more tips and better tips, and you become a much more qualified lead because you keep coming back to the site. You will ultimately raise your hand.
You're teaching me so much about myself. I really love these. You just said expose the path that someone would take, and then confidence instills confidence when you're really helping somebody. They go, wow, I could go somewhere else. And I love how you said expose the path. Hey, when you're looking for a new house, in fact, I don't know, maybe everybody watching this knows a realtor or two. I'm always telling my realtor friends, because we give all of our data away on the social media safety space. We go, look, there is no parent that should ever go without understanding what the bad apps are, the good apps. So we make a 4-minute video for everyone and we give it away for free, and we tell people steal it. But I tell realtors all the time, hey, you got a bunch of frequently asked questions. Why not expose the path? And I don't tell them your phrase, but I tell them, why not teach people, these are the 15 things you need to do. I'm going to shoot 15 1-minute videos that you should watch. All the frequently asked questions, every business has them. We have 1 million of them just to get you on this podcast that were frequently asked questions that we try and answer with text or video. And I'm always telling my realtor friends, give it away. And they go, no, I wouldn't want to do that. I don't know. What would you say to those people, Sean, that are hesitant to give away their frequently asked questions?
What's interesting is the frequently asked questions that happen in person or via phone are now happening more and more online. How to stage a house.
Yeah.
How to sell for sale by owner. What are the 10 things I need to do to stage my house in the right way to get the right buyer? So why not try to capture more interest by giving that out? True. Because if they find that if I type in what should my house sell for? If I have a realtor that's put together a lot of content around that, I'm pretty sure they're knowledgeable in how to get me the most for my house. It goes for every single business.
Boy, you're so right. You're basically growing the size of your network by giving your free stuff away online. And Sean, I got to tell you, you know very little about me, but we get discovered, the map up there of where we target and where I travel to speak to kids all over the country on digital best practices for their online image. We get discovered all the time. And I always ask educators, they say, hey, we want to hire you to come speak to a high school. And I always ask them, how'd you hear about us? What? And they say, we watched one of your free videos, and then we watched another one and another one. And then we posted 4 of the hottest ones on our website, and parents are watching them. And I never would have met those people, Sean, had I not given that data away for free to really genuinely help people with nothing in return. But there is a call to action at the end. And those of you watching this video, it's okay at the end to go, hey, if you guys have more questions on our website, we have even more videos. Take as much time as you want. Take all of our tips, run away, buy your own home. Try and do it on your own. But when you hire a realtor, make sure they have these qualifications and make sure you ask them these 15 questions, because this is what's going to help your family take a house and turn it into a home. You know, I'm getting nerdy right now, but
no, that's exactly right though. I mean, you're laying the path for them to take, so that when they start to take it and realize, ooh, I don't feel comfortable going this alone, they're going to go back to the person that showed them the path. So it keeps going back to that confidence.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch.
The confidence thing, I've never really heard that, and you couldn't be more right on that. Confidence instills confidence. Boy, that's great. Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about frequently asked questions. Anybody that's watching this, your company has those, right? I'm going to shoot a video probably this afternoon showing our podcast guests, hey, you've got these questions and this technology, and we want to make sure that you know these 15 steps, right? We're not trying to sell them anything, but we've talked about the frequently asked questions. We've talked about showing someone the path that they're going to go through in your industry, and everybody has that. Even if you're a restaurant. Oh, yes. And by the way, I want to talk about some restaurant, how to make this chef an influencer that's also the owner. I want to get a few of your ideas. Do you have any ideas there? I do, and I want to hear them from you.
Yeah, so to make a chef an influencer, we actually work with a company right now. It's a startup in Indianapolis, and what they're doing is really unique in that they're taking recipes from different well-known chefs and bringing them into one single kitchen to be able to then distribute that food out in a pretty simple manner. And what's amazing is the way that the chefs can become known is just by showing what they're doing. Imagine all the people out there that are taking pictures of their food before they eat it. Well, imagine if the chef was doing that when they were preparing it.
Oh, that is great. And it's a free tip. Now, hold on. There is the devil's advocate over there, because we're in the stage where technology can make us an influencer quite quickly if we're courageous about what we share. But people are saying right now, if they're watching this video, they're saying, no, I can't. If I give away my recipe, Sean, you don't understand the restaurant industry. If I give away my recipe, no, people aren't going to want to come into my restaurant. What do you say to that?
I would argue that Airbnb and Uber and Google and everyone else has kind of proven that giving away, you're putting a framework in place to give away the path it just brings back more people to walk across it. And I think you're seeing companies, and I use Uber as an example, but Uber, it will tell people go from point A to point B, right? You don't have to be afraid to say this is the fastest route. They're going to find that out anyway. The same with the chef. And what's interesting is the more real you are about the scenario, it's just like sales. If you want to sell more of your product, it goes well when there's a face-to-face conversation.
True.
So don't be afraid to be a little bit more raw. Those are the kind of people that you want to follow and see. There's always going to be a mistake. I don't know there's one, I'll put it this way. I don't know one influencer that hasn't shown a little bit behind the scenes, that hasn't benefited from it when there's a little mistake, or that's why bloopers are always fun to watch.
They are.
You get that much more of an audience by just being genuine around what you're doing.
So I actually have a friend, and she started her name's Stephanie, and I've been watching her grow her Instagram as she makes these really cool organic stuff. And I'm impressed with her, but there's a lot of other chefs, and really we've all been to a restaurant, so we understand how this industry works. But I always try and tell people, look at Wolfgang Puck. Now, I don't go to a bunch of his restaurants. I've been to a few of them. I'm not a huge fan. I've never bought his cookbooks, but he gives all of his recipes away. I'd say 90% of them, and I don't know much about him. I could be wrong, but he gives them all away in a book, and yet you still, where do you want to go to a restaurant when you see his name? You go, oh, I kind of trust that. And I don't have time to cook tonight anyways. Why don't I just go to the guy that gave me all this stuff? It must be really good. He must be better at cooking it than anybody else. I trust him. And yet he gave them away, and we still want to go, and brands want to work with them and put them on TV. What do you say to people that don't understand that concept?
Oh, you actually use recipe. I'm going to dig into that one. So I can't tell you the number of times I've had a recipe in front of me, and what came out was burned or undercooked. Right, or didn't taste right, but I followed the recipe to a T. Yeah. So what did I do? I'll end up going to the restaurant where I'm like, well, what does this really taste like? Oh, I was way off. So it's how you put the recipe together. Having the recipe will not guarantee you're going to be a Wolfgang Puck.
Yeah.
Right. It just shows you the path that they know what they're doing. So that cooking analogy could not be more appropriate for myself, because I gave up on it. Like, I realized it doesn't matter what recipe I have. If it's going to taste good, it's not going to be for me. I'm going to go to people that have the best recipes, and that'll cook it for me. That's what our society is starting to get to, is show me that you know what you're doing, and then I'll trust you to do it for me.
I love that confidence approach. You've taught me so much. I love this. One of your first tips was people are important, and by creating some content marketing, I know we're supposed to talk about influencer marketing, but really this is so much more interesting to make your founder, your CEO, your president, or someone in your company high level the influencer of your company. I love that. You said people are important in that sales process. Why not create content and make somebody an influencer? So that tip number 2 was scale. And when you're on YouTube teaching people stuff for free, like we are right now, or text in a blog for free, giving away your checklist or your recipe, that can scale. You can't be on the phone with everyone for 30 minutes walking them through it, but giving them something. Another thing you taught me, so true, is everybody that's watching this that says, well, they're not going to visit, or they're not going to call us if I'm a lawyer and I give away the 5 tips that they need on going through a divorce, they're not going to call me. Well, no, they're going online to find it even more. It's not like they're dialing up going, give me your 5 tips, give me your 5 tips. No, they're in the modern age that we live in with these devices, it's way faster to go to our friend, Mr. Google, to get that anyways, right?
Absolutely.
So give me just a couple more tips. I'm really enjoying this, Sean.
Oh, great.
You're a wealth of tactical and helpful information that I think is very relevant. Give us a couple more tips. What can just about any business do today to get started?
All right. So the first thing I would recommend is I would go out and Google what you want to be known for.
Oh, that's good.
The first step, right? I would literally, for us, it would be digital marketing. And I would see who is ranking high for digital marketing. But I would do it not only on Google. You could go on to Twitter. You could go on to LinkedIn. You could go on to Facebook. Because you're connected in many different ways. Google's just connected by an algorithm. Facebook, you're connected by people. But go in and just see what pops up to the top. What you'll find that pops up to the top are the biggest influencers for what you want to be known for. Start talking to them. You don't have to say, buy my product. You don't have to say we're a competitor or we could be a partner. All you have to do is start a conversation and like what they're doing. You can, by simply commenting on their digital properties, right? And you're going to find if there's a direct competitor, what should I be doing that maybe is something I could gain from this? But you're often going to find, I'm just going to congratulate them on doing such a good job. When you start doing that, they will reciprocate. When they reciprocate, you now have tapped into their entire audience by them saying, hey, thanks, Torchlight, I really appreciate that. Well, now the person that's most well known for digital marketing is saying thank you to Torchlight, and the millions of people that follow them on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever are seeing the acknowledgement and the conversation back and forth. So for me, the biggest thing that anybody can do right now, you could create a LinkedIn profile, you could go on Twitter and have 0 followers. You can just start thanking and complimenting people who are already really good at what you want to be good at. And you'll start to tap into their audience when they start talking back to you.
I love that. I love how you said essentially go to Google, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, and go to LinkedIn and search for what you want to be known for, see who's out there. But also you're doing the world's best research by just finding out how did they get known for this?
Yep.
What should I be doing? You're also going to probably find out, Sean, what's missing. We did that in our kids program. We found out there's all these experts that don't share any of their speeches, and you just see 7 minutes of them. And it was very weird. Do I hire this consultant that's going to speak to children for an hour? And I only saw 4 to 5 minutes of their secret sauce, and they're going to not tell me what they have. And the sales process was annoying. So we gave it all away. We said, here's 23 of our speeches. They all vary because there's different age groups. Watch them all. And we overwhelm the heck out of educators in a good way, saying, please steal our content, use our tips. We want your feedback. We care. 5 years from now, we want you to be saying we can't afford to go anywhere else because we know what we're going to get. They listen to our input, they adjust, and they want to work with us. And here's 23 speeches, an hour long each. Embed one of them on your website, give it away. And the next thing they do, Sean, they say, that was great. We had about 4 parents watch it. They loved it, but no one's going to sit through your hour unless you come to our town. We want to fly you here.
There you go.
Now we've got to have you, and you're 5 times more expensive, but how do we get you here? What's your calendar look like? So would you tell people as well to give away their tips and just start testing that? And if so, what cadence, how often should they try things online?
Two parts to that answer, or to that question. One, yes, I think you should give everything that you could possibly give away. Being out there, Jay Baer is a well-known marketing consultant, social media analyst, you name it. He's been doing it on digital for a while, and he had this discussion around, you're going to do better on digital by helping versus selling. So help people, and as you help them, it's going to help you. It's kind of pay it forward mentality. Mm-hmm. So give away that recipe, and it's kind of like show them the cake, but let them have a taste or two of it, because they're going to want you to make that cake for them and their 100 friends, right? I can't articulate enough that baking analogy is really, really appropriate. To your point, I've seen 7 minutes, right? So I got to see the pastry that you could offer to the hundreds of people that I want to get involved, but I'm not going to let you taste it. So how do you know if it's going to be good? How do I know if I want to share it? Give them the whole thing. Let them taste it, because then they'll say, I have to have this, and I'm going to spread it to 100 different people. I need you to do it for me, right?
Yeah. Let them pick the 7 minutes they're going to watch. They're going to watch 7 anyways.
Yeah.
Give them the whole thing and let them share
it. Let them find their path through this. That's the first part is, yes, I would give away, whenever you're thinking about it, it's an opportunity for people to find you, that scale piece, that personal piece that we were talking about earlier, that influencer piece. Mm-hmm. Just start talking out in the market, and you'd be shocked at how many people are looking for the same thing you're talking about. Yeah. The second part, to not only talking, the experimentation. Should I do a video? Should I just blog? Should I tweet? Should I do LinkedIn? Yes, 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 and yes, but what's going to work for you, you're never going to know unless you try. And it could be an hour a week. And you might find, I did something on LinkedIn, and I did it for 4 months straight, an hour a week, it didn't pay off. So then stop doing it and try something else. Yeah. If you don't experiment, though, I guarantee you nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, I love the idea of experimenting. And everybody that's watching this right now, you know that you have an iPhone, you have an Android, even if it's a 4S. I've got a little 6 right here. There are things that I've shot on this iPhone 6. Yes. I've got friends that are big developers of property in Southern California on the beach. They're giving me a tour, and I said, stop. Can I video you giving this tour? And can I give that to you to make you an influencer on, hey, here's my big development of a new gym that I'm making. And they said, that would be really cool. And that silly little thing at that moment with this device that the whole world has, I just sat there and said, okay, do exactly what you did again. Walk me through the whole gym right now while it's under construction, and we'll come back and we'll show this in like 5 years when you're super successful, or today. We'll put it online. And they said, what a great idea. And that showed me that anyone can do this. You can say, hey, we're going to have a cardio over here, and I'm doing something creative with CrossFit. We have very limited space here, but it doesn't matter. You could even get a tour, give a tour of your restaurant, maybe your kitchen, and say, You know, it's weird. Normal kitchens are like this, but we decided we wanted to move things around. And when you share that behind the scenes, Sean, tell me, do you think that it's better to only show successes or maybe show some vulnerabilities?
No, I think people don't trust if everything seems perfect. Right? I think there is an amount of distrust that everybody knows. As a human, we are erred, right? We have a flaw of some sort. And if everything seems to be perfect, then what are you hiding? Well, why not just show them the good, the bad, and the ugly and let them decide, oh, I don't have to worry about what they're not going to tell me. I've often found more times than not, if I tell people I'm going to make a mistake, we will do much better as a partner to that customer than if I say, nope, everything's going to be fine. You're never going to have to worry about anything. There's always a seed of doubt. So I would always show behind the scenes, especially if something goes wrong. Imagine how much trust. Actually, some of our best clients are people that we had a problem. We admitted to it. We said, hey, this did not work. This is what we're going to do to fix it. It was before they even knew there was a problem. They're our biggest advocates now, right? And those are the kind of people when I go to get my car serviced. If a guy messes up something and bends my rim, but he tells me about it versus trying to hide it, and does something, I'm a customer for life. And I've actually had that example where I still go back to that same place because they made it right, and they'll have my business for life.
Yeah, they were honest about it. And you trust them. You say, well, if they made a mistake in the future, I bet they'll be honest about that too.
Yeah.
Past performance is a predictor of future behavior.
Yep. That's exactly
as people say. Hey, Sean, I want to thank you for being on the video today. This has been really terrific.
Absolutely. I really appreciate it. This has been a blast.
It's been fun. Those of you that are watching, I'm honored to have you watch us today. You know, this video is really brought to you by our Digital Growth Summit, which happens in Los Angeles every 6 months. Our friends at Microsoft are amazing to sponsor it. You can learn more at MediaLeaders.com or click the show notes below. That's the Digital Growth Summit. We have one on May 6th in Los Angeles, May 20th in Sunnyvale, the San Francisco area. And you can grab a virtual ticket from anywhere in the world and watch all 80 speakers across both conferences for less than $100. It's absolutely great. You get all the key takeaways. You get awesome people like Sean teaching you digital tactics, very short panel discussions, so that's really full of vibrant tips and tactics. If you are watching us and you want to learn more, you can click the links below to read this blog post, to get the key takeaways, to also follow Sean and go look at his website. I was complimenting him on his site earlier today. It looks great. He's in Indianapolis. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm Josh, and as always, keep it light, bright, and polite. Have a great day, guys. Okay, we're going to keep rolling, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something I've never done before.
Okay.
I'm going to do the intro to the video right now that I know everything we talked about. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So hang out here with me just for a sec. I'm going to pretend like you're not on.
Sure.
And I'm going to do the intro. Here we go. And we're going to edit it at the beginning and replace what I had. Okay. Here we go. While it's recording. Hi, I'm Josh, and I have an exciting video for you here today. I have an expert from Indianapolis, and we're going to talk about content marketing and influencer outreach. We're going to give you tactical tips. I want to share with you some of the things you're going to see in this really exciting video. One of my favorite podcasts, because I'm a content marketer. Through and through, I'm not just a marketer. I try and share my tips and secrets to build loyalty. We're going to talk about how to make your executives or your founder at your company the very influencer that people talk about. Next, we're going to look at how important people are to the sales process and how videos and blog posts will take that old school sales process and make it feel more comfortable. And second, how to scale that sales process. Sean's going to talk to us about that. We're going to talk about, once again, how to make those senior leadership people influencers so they're with the company. We're going to talk about how to expose the path that a customer would take in the sales process of your company. And we're going to look at how you can give that away. And it's going to feel awkward at first. You're going to say, whoa, I don't know. But you're going to hear Sean talk about how being confident in your content marketing will instill confidence. He's going to give you tips on how to do that. We're going to talk about exactly why you would want to Google what you want to be good at. And we're going to talk about 3 other networks that you should search for yourself on, or your skills that you want to be known for. You're not going to want to miss that. I have learned a lot from this guy in this video. I'm pumped that he's here today. I hope that you enjoy the video as well. This video is brought to you by our Digital Growth Summit that happens on May 6th in Los Angeles and May 20th in Sunnyvale. Thanks to Microsoft. You can click the show notes below to get a virtual ticket. I hope you enjoy this video. I think it's one of my favorite podcasts I've ever had, because most companies are not looking at what can they give away for free that people are going to find on the web anyways to build some sense of loyalty with that customer. So all of a sudden that customer says, hey, I learned all these 7 tips from you anyways. I want to come to you first, and I'm ready to move ahead on this project. I'm Josh Oakes. I'm honored that you would watch this video. Enjoy the show. Have a great day. Okay, you are amazing.